Welcome back. So, in this lecture, we are going to learn more or less about the smart contract.
This video is brought to you by Appy Pie's Academy.
So, a contract is basically an agreement between two parties, or you can say between two people, companies, or organizations. In contract, what do we know? So, in contract, basically, there are rules and clauses defined in order to guide how things will happen and how people in the companies or the two parties shall work. So, this is basically the overview of the contract. Now, what are smart contracts then? The smart contracts are these rules basically into the digital world that are executed into the Ethereum. They are called smart because some of its rules can be executed without any human intervention. You can say that they are as computer softwares and stored in huge amounts on different servers in the world, such that even if one of the server fails, there are tons of other servers to support this working etiquette. These rules cannot be corrupted or changed or anyway fraud. Every execution remains recorded on the blockchain, so their contract models are extremely reliable. Smart contracts allow developers to place hard checks on the supply of non fungible tokens and enforce persistent properties that cannot be modified. So, for example, late after the non fungible tokens are issued, then these smart contracts come into action. For example, a developer can enforce via programming that only a specific number of a specific rare item can be created, while keeping the supply of more common items infinite. Developers can also enforce that specific properties do not change over time by encoding them on chain. This is particularly interesting for art, which relies heavily on the provable scarcity of an original piece. So let's see these smart contracts on the world of non-fungible tokens. The smart contracts for the blockchain Ethereum is available for anyone. You just need to have some knowledge for it. So the non-fungible tokens are digital assets that contain identifying information recorded in smart contracts. Non-fungible tokens and their smart contracts allow for the detailed attributes to be added like the identity of the owner, some rich metadata or secure filings. The patent of non-fungible tokens to immutably prove digital ownership is an important progression for an increasingly digital world. They could see blockchain's promise of trustless security applied to the ownership or exchange of almost any asset. As is the challenge of the blockchain to date, non fungible tokens, their protocols, and smart contract technology is still being developed. So, we also need to understand how does these smart contracts come into place. What does it takes for the development of these smart contracts? So basically, you just need three things. The first one is Ether, the second one is code on the language of Viper, and the last is the remix to publish these contracts and make it more accessible throughout the world. So this is all for your smart contract. Then that's all for this lecture. Now I'll see you on the next one.